Hey guys, LongHaul Larry Big Blue. It is August 12th, 2019, and we are actually in Mount Crawford, Virginia. Got loaded up in Texas, and I just shot up here. Really didn't record anything. Pretty non-eventful, just kind of shot up here. But I delivered the load this morning and got that all unloaded over at White Wave Foods. And then my next load here, I'm actually picking up right here. I already picked up right here at White Wave Foods. It was like a half load or whatever. It was 21,000 pounds. It was actually 22,000 pounds, 551 pounds. Same thing, Kramer, stuff like that I brought in. And then I also had a second pickup, and this is a brand new place. It's right down the road, and it is White Wave Foods, I think. It's a place called Interchange. And this was the second part of the load. It's a brand new building. You see half of the building isn't even complete yet. But what makes me think it's kind of the same place as White Wave Foods is they use the same exact seal. And the pickup numbers are exactly the same too. They start with the same digits. So, I don't know. Who knows? Maybe this is a storage facility or something. I don't know. But it's actually like right down the road. So we got this loaded up too, and there's only like 5,000 pounds over here. It's hardly nothing. My first stop is actually going to be Costco in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And then my second stop will be Cisco in St. Paul, Minnesota. So that's where I'm heading to. I have myself 1,225 miles to go. And it is time to start making tracks. Once I got loaded, I sat here and did my 10-hour break, and we are ready to roll now. So off we go. I'll catch you guys later. Well guys, we have made it here to, I can't remember the name of this town. Hebron. Hebron, Indiana. Got ourselves 22 minutes left to drive or work or whatever. So we're gonna call this quit for tonight. Shut her on down. I ended up having a pretty long wait out on 70 coming into Indianapolis. There was a big accident. I don't know. I never saw the accident or nothing. But I ended up sitting an hour and 45 minutes just sitting on the road. It was backed up like 7 miles or something. So I was hearing on the radio. Thinking he's leaving. It's a nice looking Peterbilt right there. Actually, I thought that guy was in the flatbed there to cover wagon. I thought he was going to take a parking spot. I saw it right up by the front there, but I guess he didn't take that one. Watch out there, Seagull. He decided to go into the reserve parking spot. So we have ourselves 460 miles to go to our destination. Our first stop for the morning. We got a 5 a.m. appointment. So I'm going to be shutting her down tonight and today and get up this evening and take off again. Hi guys, we are here at Flying Cake. And I had a problem with my headlights last night. A high beam does not work on this side. And the boss man thinks it's a plug. There's a plug that's right down here. And he said he had another truck that had a damaged plug in it, corroded plug. I pulled it apart, put grease in there, and it still didn't come back. Started doing some searching around. I think I found the problem. Right here, got a broken wire. So I'm gonna fix this wire here and put a new connector on there. I always carry around connectors with me. Got this one right here. This is for like 2 wires into one butt splice, and these are they're shrinkable ones, so they waterproof. So I'm gonna put a new fix that wire up and see if I can get this headlight working. Well, we got both low beams working. I actually had that low beam go out last night. That low beam went out and that high beam went out. It was kind of a messed up situation. But I got the low beams all working. I found another wire that was broken over here. And I also got the high beams. That was the wire that was broken over here. So got all our lights working. Good deal. All right, boys and girls, we are off and running. We have ourselves 469 miles to go. I'm showing myself arriving at my first stop at 3:40 a.m. My appointment is at 5 a.m. We better stop. That guy's coming pretty fast. Kind of sucks. The first place is a Costco, which I actually like Costco. I think Costco's have figured out a lot about trucking. They really are nice, especially if you have like the first appointment of the morning. If you have like a 5 a.m. or something like that, and it's awesome. You can actually pull in there the night before, and they give you this little pager thing. And they'll actually put you right into a door. And you just go to sleep, and they tell you at like 4:45, pull up, open your doors, and back in. And if you oversleep or whatever, that was a big bump. The little alarm thing will actually go off, and it'll say right on the screen, you know, open your doors and back into door. Stop growling. And then when you get empty, then it sends you a message saying, you know, empty, proceed to gate. So it's really cool. I actually think the Costco's have really figured it out. They do a really good job of it, actually. I like going to them. Especially that one down in Dallas that works really well. But I'm going in there, and I think I only have 1 pallet, maybe 2 pallets for the Costco. And the majority of my load, it's like a 3/4, half to 3/4 of a load, is actually going to Cisco later on in the morning. So, you know, and that'll be going in there, sitting and waiting and stuff. I just got a message from my boss as I was taking off, so I kind of stopped and looked at it for a second there. My seat is broken in this truck. It's been broken for a long time, actually. Pretty much right after I got the truck, it broke. And it kind of makes me sit a little crooked, and then the back of the chair just flops forward. And I've actually put some like wood screws in the mechanics of it to try to keep it from doing it, but now that's worn out. It's all busted up. You know, I've done it as much as I can. It actually starts to hurt my back a little bit.
So when I was in Joplin, I was actually looking at seats. And I have back problems. I've always had them. You guys have known that from the videos. I've had back surgeries and stuff. I still do a lot of stupid things, but I'd rather be in a little bit of pain and still be able to do fun things than just sitting around. So, but I've been looking at different seats, and there's a couple brands that use that are, I think they're sponsored by or something like that, Sealy Posturepedic. And there's this one that's it's called Boston or whatever. I think that's how it's pronounced. And on the last video, you guys saw that I was stopping there looking for something, and the chrome shop was closed. But I went over to the Petro, and the Petro actually had them. And I've been looking at them and stuff, and I sat in it. It's pretty comfortable, and I think it's going to work well. But I actually just talked to the boss. I've been having a conversation with the boss because I had to fix these headlights, and I let him know that they were busted, and he said, you know, see what I can do with it. Otherwise, I'll have to get in a shop someplace or something. Well, I got them working, so I was letting him know I got everything working. And then I talked to him about the seat, and I looked at them, and there were $850 for these seats. There's some that are like $1,100. There was another one for $2,100 or something. It's the one that's got all the vibrating stuff and, you know, the massage and stuff. You know, that's the same thing as John has in his truck. The boss actually paid for those when he ordered those truck. He actually paid to put those massaging chairs in the truck. And I tell you right now, they suck. They're terrible. You can barely even feel them, and it's like, there's enough shaking going on the road. Why do I need a seat that shakes too? But I talked to the boss about it, and I was actually thinking, well, I'll just buy it myself because it's not his problem that I have a bad back. And so I kind of told him about it, and I said I'll throw the old seat up in the top bunk or something and keep it at my house, and then someday, you know, if I leave here, go jump in my own truck or whatever, then I'll just swap the seats up before I turn the truck in, and keep my seat and just put it into my truck or something. Who knows? And he said, nope, don't worry about it. He says I'll take care of it. I'll buy it for you. So that's pretty cool. He's gonna buy me a seat. And then he just sent me another message, and that's what I was reading when I was getting out of there. Is he says he has found me a fifth wheel plate to put on a deal to put on my fifth wheel that will keep it from needing a fifth wheel greased, which is a really good idea. So he's going to have me test it. He says he's got it out there, and he wants me to put it on and try and test it. And if it works good, then he's going to have them installed in all the trucks. Because I'll tell you right now, it's really nice to have the greaseless fifth wheels. If you have to grease them all the time, it's like a regular thing that you have to do on trucks. It's always been like that. You need to keep them greased. You don't want to over grease the fifth wheels, but you need to keep grease on them. If you do not, it will actually mess up your tires. It will cup your tires if your fifth wheel gets dry, because then the trailer will dog track. It will push on the truck. It'll make the truck kind of dog track a little bit, and it'll tear your tires up. It'll also damage suspension parts and everything else if it gets too dry. And I usually carry those little red packets of grease you can buy at the truck stop. And usually once a week or so, I will be dropping a trailer someplace, and whenever I do, I always just drop 2 of those pads on there. And that about keeps it the right amount of grease on there. If you really put it on there thick and it all gets down into the mechanical gear, the fifth wheel and everything else, that's actually bad for it. A lot of people think you're supposed to grease down in there. You're not. What happens is if you grease down in all the mechanical parts and everything, it actually attracts dirt in there and grime in there, and it will actually make your fifth wheel stick. So it's actually not good to be greasing down in there. When I used to be a mechanic, we would have this big bucket of grease and this big thing in there, and the boss wanted the guys, you know, like every other day, once, you know, at least once, twice a week, to be greasing their fifth wheels. And he always wanted everybody to pull up by the door and put grease on there. And these guys would just put it on there so bad. And then when we come in for service, it would just be caked inside that fifth wheel. We'd actually had a hot water pressure washer. I was in the shop there, and we'd always have to stick it up in there and spray all that grease up out of that fifth wheel to keep them operating. Otherwise, they would stick. They'd get all full of junk and then corrode up and rust, and it'd just be a mess. And then we'd have to rebuild the fifth wheel and stuff. So I guess he's found some kind of item or something that's supposed to be mounted on the fifth wheel, and it's supposed to keep it from being greased. So he's got it sitting at the yard. Next time I get out there, I'll grab it and test it out, see if it works. Be nice if it does. Well, here's our Broadway. This looks familiar. I think this is where, I think it is. I think this is where the JB Hunt terminal is. Sure enough. Yeah, if you turn right up here at the stoplight, it goes back behind this building, and that's where the JB Hunt terminal is. It's actually right there, not stoplight. It's right there. Alright, so Costco, I guess, is up here. I'm gonna find out where Costco is. Trailers there, that's UPS. Costco. Still UPS. Oh, I think. Okay, there's a Costco store. Really? So I guess I'm delivering to a Costco store. In here, this is a little different. I only have a couple pallets, so maybe this is right. we'll see what happens. It says that their receiving hours are from 3 a.m. Start at 3 a.m. So who knows? Maybe it is. Well, guys, we are empty. That was like an 11-minute unload. It was the store, and I was right there when they opened up, and they just took me right away. My appointment was actually not until 7 a.m. But I figured I'd just try it, and I caught them just when they're going in there. Right there, the place is on the right. It was just a Costco store. You know that I've never been into a Costco store? I've never been inside one. I heard something that you have to buy like a membership or something like that. Yeah, I'm not going to buy a membership card to shop at a store. But the next one, my appointment's not till noon. But I'm just going to run up there and see if they'll take it. If they don't, then I'll find some place right there by a place I can shut it down until noon. I'll see you guys later. Well, guys, we are empty. Both stops here in Minneapolis and St. Paul. Right there is your downtown St. Paul. We are now heading over to, boy, I went down this street a lot when I was on my daughter's wedding. I would turn right there and I would take you right in to that big fancy hotel I was in. It was like a block and a half over in all those skyscrapers. But got all empty at Cisco, paid the crazy outrageous lumper fee. I had a half a trailer. It's $339. I just, whatever. I mean, that's just ridiculous. But whatever. But got all unloaded, bills are signed, and the boss has sent me the next load. I am heading to Wausau, Wisconsin to pick up my next load, and it's going to be going right back down to Fort Worth to Craft, to that railhead. It's like 1005 railhead or something like that. Same place I went last week. So I'll be going over there, picking up that load and taking off and running over there. Right now I got myself 175 miles to go to get over to Wausau. I got to get over there and get checked in because once again it's a ASAP load. We all know what that means. So I will catch you guys later. I hope that everyone out there is having themselves a great day, great night. If they're watching this here video, and if you're not, certainly can change all that around. Try it all over again tomorrow.